Hello, beautiful creators. Rebecca here, your Vibe Mentor, here to help you raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Wanted to chat with you today about collapsing time. So, I have recently come across a woman by the name of Melanie Ann Lair. She is a phenomenal human being and did a pop-up training on Facebook, and I learned a lot. And these are things that I think everyone should know. They resonated deeply with my soul, and it is important that we all understand the techniques necessary to collapse time. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. When we are in resistance, when we are fighting against doing those things that we know we need to do to be able to move forward in our lives, to get unstuck and to get from where we are to where we're trying to go, we oftentimes are in resistance to what God in the universe is suggesting to us that we need to do. And it is apparent to me now that this has been stated and come into my awareness that it is absolute fact that our resistance creates more time. That in order to collapse time, in order to shorten the amount of time necessary to get from where we are to where we're trying to go, we have to stop resisting. And resistance is a very subtle energy. Oftentimes we deceive ourselves and we feel like we are being honest with ourselves, or we feel like we are aware of the forms of resistance that we are allowing into our lives or continuing to perpetuate, but oftentimes we are not aware. And sometimes it takes that mirror to help us see how we are being resistant to the things that we are being asked to do, or in what ways our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions are creating resistance in subtle ways that we may not even see. And so the perfect example was my daughter today. She's home from school. She had a dental appointment. There was no point in going back for nap time at school, so we were just going to have nap time at home. And she wanted to rest on the couch instead of her bed. And then she needed a drink of juice. And then she was hungry, so we got a snack. And then we went back to the couch and we tried to rest some more. And guess what? It didn't work. And it's just that prime example of when we resist just getting into that place, just laying our head down and doing what we know we need to do, we are going to push that nap time out. And so instead of sleeping from 12:30 to 1:30, it is now 2:30 and we are still awake, still working on that nap time. So eventually the sleep will happen. Eventually we will do what we know we need to do, but we have extended the time between where we are and where we're trying to go through that resistance. And another great example might be getting finances in order. We have to set that budget, or we just need to open the bills when they arrive and just pay them right away. And yet the energy of I don't want to do that, I don't want to face that, I don't want to struggle through that, I don't want to feel the pain, that keeps us where we are instead of where we're trying to go. And it creates more space and time than absolutely needed to be necessary. And so in order to collapse time, in order to create that quantum leap from where we are to where we're trying to go, we have to embrace all of the challenges that we are being faced with. And we have to remember that on the other side of that challenge, it's so much easier, that we spend so much energy resisting what we know we need to do. We create more pain, we create more tension, we create more resistance. And I can't come up with a better word. There is that fight in you, that discomfort, that dis-ease, that just, it's like, you're wrestling with this thing that you don't want to face, the pain you don't want to feel, the work you have to do to go through it, the ego death that is necessary to say, you know what, I screwed up. I'm sorry. And sometimes it is that simple, is just one step forward, one moment of willingness to put down the armor and put down the fight and surrender in complete and utter peace and release to what is in this now is the way out. It is your path to freedom. It is the way to collapse time. It is the fastest route to where you're trying to go. It is what seems to be the hardest thing is actually the easiest thing. And so when we surrender to the now and we fully relax into all release and all surrender, all faith that everything you need will be provided, that is when the quantum leaps happen. That is when we finally move forward. That is when we remove those limiting beliefs of I can't, or life has to be hard, or I don't have enough money, or whatever that is, that wall that you're standing in front of. It's almost like a hurdle in a race, that you're standing in front of it, pushing against it, saying, I'm not going to jump over, I'm not going to jump over. And because of that, you're going to stay in that place. But if you are just willing to take the leap, jump over the hurdle, put the ego down, whatever it is, just take that step. It literally is 1,000 times, 100,000 times easier to just do that thing that you're resisting than it is to stay in that place of resistance. And so I'm going to keep this one pretty short and sweet, because surrender and release and being in the now and in complete faith is difficult to find a whole bunch of fluffy words around, because it's just as simple as letting go. And it doesn't feel simple while you're in the resistance. But when you're on the other side, when you can finally sit and listen to someone talk about resistance and talk about release and talk about full surrender for a full hour and know I'm in this place, I finally have arrived, that's when things start flowing to you. And when we are in resistance, we're putting this shield around us, this force field, this brick wall that keeps everything that wants to come to us from us. But when we are in that full release and that full surrender, we're opening up like the lotus flower, right? That's why they use that. It's that allowing, and you can feel the flow of everything coming to you and in and around and through you. And that is everything that you desire, everything that you need is in that place. And so I would love to hear from you. Share in the comments below, what are you resisting? What are you ready to stop resisting? And in some cases, it may be fear. In some cases, it may be things that seem like you can't change them. And there's a lot of challenges in the world right now. People who feel stuck or locked down or financially in a bind. And I will say to you, speaking from a place of complete understanding in all of those things, you still can surrender to those things. And you, in your letting go, will allow in the solution, the way out, the support that you need is literally at your doorstep, waiting to come in. As soon as you put down the resistance and say, I fully surrender to this moment, to all that is, and to you, God in the universe, I know, and I have full faith and trust that I am cared for. And I highly, highly recommend contacting me for Theta Healing sessions, because we can remove some of those blocks and I can teach you how to start commanding your power, because you have the ability to co-create with the divine the solutions that you need. And there is that moment of, one, I'm going to do what I'm resisting. I'm going to stop fighting it, and I'm going to get over the hurdle and surrender fully into whatever that solution is that you're divinely guided to. Two, you're going to command your creative power and your co-creative ability with the divine to find that solution, to bring and to call in and to allow that solution. And then, three, you get to sit back and wait either for the divine action that you need to take to come to you, that wisdom and that guidance, or you get to just sit back and watch. And it really depends on your situation and what you're being guided to. But it is possible, and if we just stop resisting, we can collapse time and make all of this a whole bunch shorter. So like, comment, share, subscribe. I will link below Melanie Ann Lair's information so you can contact or find her if you are interested. She is an amazing, beautiful soul, and I am sending all of my love to all of you, and I will see you on the next video. Namaste, my friends.